everybody. We are live. Welcome to Sunday Night Live Stream on my channel. My name is Anita. I'm the ketogenic woman. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. And I want you to know that it is never too late to change your life and to treat food as your medicine by following the proper human diet. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight. I've lost 145 pounds on this way of eating, and it is a life-changing thing in so many different ways. And our guest tonight has also had an amazing health journey, and he's going to tell us all about it tonight and about his farm. I met him at the retreat. His name is Leo. We're going to bring him on right now. Hi, Leo. How are you?
Hi, Anita. Hi, everybody.
Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I also just want to say to everybody that our moderators are here tonight as well. Melissa, Bonnie, Sherry, you'll see them in the chat, in the live chat. They will help with links, and there's going to be links at the bottom everywhere where we can get a hold of Leo, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, recently, I was in Tennessee at the Meat Stock 2024 retreat, and my friend Leo here, he brought food from Florida all the way to Tennessee. He drove in his truck, loaded up with meat from his farm, and so we're going to hear a lot about his farm later. It was amazing. The meat that was cooked. You can imagine a retreat where there's anywhere between 40 and 60 carnivores on a given day, and keto people as well. They weren't all carnivore, but that's a lot of meat to go through. And so it was Leo that provided that to us. So Leo, the other day when we talked, you told me about your health journey. And so I'd like you to share that with the audience. How did you, so you came to this country and you had health issues. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
When I was young, I didn't have too many problems. I was in the military, and I didn't have too many problems. And my dad used to own farms in Venezuela, where I come from, and I would say we were eating what at that point was called healthy. Of course, a lot of meat and a lot of pork and chicken, but a good chunk it was vegetables. At that point, of course, I didn't know anything, and everybody said that it was healthy to eat a lot of vegetables. Came into this country, and I started eating a lot of fast food. I would say junk food, and began having some issues. I began having high triglycerides, high blood sugar, glucose, high blood pressure, and you name it. By the end, I was taking 10 pills a day. And on my last visit to the doctor, my triglycerides were at 612. Uh,
Wow.
yes, I was running a glucose about 185, 190, and my A1C was pretty high. The doctor told me, you are going to go on insulin. And I didn't want to go on insulin because my mom was diabetic for 50 years. Of course, she was eating very healthy, all salads, no fat, because that was the recommendation
Yeah.
from her doctor. Now, 50 years diabetic and having insulin and see the suffering of the insulin, I said, I'm not going to go on insulin. So I started looking into how I was going to, change my life and try to get a handle of diabetes. And then I started reading some books. One doctor, I think the name was Kuzman or Kudman, something like that. His book
Mm-hmm.
is uh, Diabetic Can Be Cured or something like that. and they
Hmm.
have a retreat that is 21 days in the middle of United States somewhere, in which they have a farm. And I at that time it was costly, but I decided that I was going to go on because I didn't want to. If diabetes is curable, I wanted to cure it.
Right.
When I decided to go ahead and spend the money, when I called, thank God they did not have a spot because they were all sold. So I said, okay, I will have to find another way. And for act of God, because I still at this time I don't know how it came through, but I was watching something on YouTube, and I was searching the net, and it came Dr. Jason Fung,
Oh, yes. Yes.
and his book, The Complete Guide of Fasting, and then he had diabetes code or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And I said, oh, let me just go ahead and get the book. So I got the book, diabetes code, I got the obesity code, and the complete guide of fasting. To make a long story short, a long story short, I started immediately fasting, and starting see some results on my glucose. And but I hear always Dr. Kuz and Dr. Fon saying that we need to eat high fat, low carb, and at that time I didn't have a clue what keto was. And so I you know keep researching what it was high fat, low carb, and I came with Dr. Boss, Annette
Oh,
Boss,
yes. Yes.
Bosworth. And I I like what I saw. I saw a bunch of videos on YouTube from her channel, and I said, "This is what I'm gonna do." And I started in 90 days. My triglycerides were at 109. My blood sugar was close to 100 or less than 100. I'm sorry. And I said, "Oh my God, this is what I need to do." And I did it for a year, and the doctor couldn't believe it. I mean, he said, "No, your diabetes is chronic disease. You will never get out, and you will have to go on insulin." And on 90 days, I proved him wrong. He couldn't believe it. For a whole year that I was on keto, he kept telling me that my diabetes was on remission, because of course when we do any lifestyle change, especially on diet, then something is going to change, but it's on
Hmm.
remission, it's going to come back. And basically a year and a half after that, it didn't come back, actually improved, because I was running my glucose around 80. And but he kept saying that it was on remission. Then I came across, for another God act of God, I came across Dr. Kilth,
Oh,
and
Dr. Kiltz.
yeah,
Did you get to meet him when he
no,
arrived? Oh,
unfortunately, I have worked with him for a while, almost every day on his channel at 5 o'clock in the morning,
yeah.
and he's a wonderful person. I mean,
Yes.
I cannot talk better of him. And but I haven't met him yet in person.
Right.
And I hear him talking about, you know, not eating vegetable. I love his expression of salad is the nature toilet paper. And
I've never
you
heard
know,
him say that. That's funny.
yeah, he always say that salad is nature toilet paper. And at that time I was doing, as I said, keto,
Hmm.
and I was eating some nuts and eating some broccoli and some other vegetables, but very little. And uh, and then I said, let me try this carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
And I started. My numbers got even better.
Wow.
um, Doctor could not believe it. Before I even started keto, I went ahead and I did a calcium score. And for anybody that is on the channel, we know that 400 is basically pretty high. I mean, it's really, really high. And I was in the lower 300. So 2 years later, 2 years later, I went and I asked the doctor to do again all my testing and do my calcium score again.
Okay.
My calcium score came unperceptible. Doctor
Wow.
said, "This is not possible. It's a mistake." So he sent me to another place to do the calcium score. It came again unperceptible. His conclusion was that it might be that on the first test it was a mistake. And I laughed and I said, "Doctor, you have seen that everything has improved. All my numbers have improved. I lost
Yeah.
110 pounds.
110 pounds. Wow.
Yes, from my military background, I had my knees shot, so I couldn't really. Some days I couldn't really walk well. It was painful. I had three hernias in my back, and some days I couldn't get out of bed. Even to go to the bathroom, it was painful when they were inflamed.
Mm.
And can tell you, Anita, now I don't even know that I have knees. I don't even know, okay, that I have hernias in my back.
Wow.
I work really hard. I work on the farm. It's
Yep.
not easy job. We take care of the cows and the hogs, and you know, I I don't have a problem anymore with my knees or
Wow.
my back. I have not suffered for a headache. I would say at least the last one that I can remember that it was bad was probably 3 years ago. And you know, it's something that it's amazing, and a lot of people do not believe it, but it's something that it is true. Of course, cholesterol, and I want to touch on that. Is
Please
high,
do.
but the situation is I have insurance, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because I hold a full-time job. I work with the county, Brevard County, and they provide insurance. And you cannot believe that every year when I'm gonna renew, they just go ahead and tell me that my problem is that I have high cholesterol. I don't have anything else, but I have high cholesterol, and
Right.
they want me to go on statins. They
Yeah.
send me to the doctor and send me and I'm like, I'm not gonna take. I was taking 10 pills a day, and now I don't take one pill a day, and they want to put me
Yeah.
on a pill.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The only
It
thing that
is.
I take every day is magnesium. That's it. That's it.
So
So
you have lost 110 pounds. You've
yes,
gone
ma'am.
off of 10 medications.
Yes, ma'am.
Your triglycerides are back to to normal. You're
Yes.
you're running around like a young person managing your farm. And what does your doctor say now? Like, does he believe you yet?
I have stopped going to the doctor basically because for the insurance, okay, he had to write a letter because my insurance was high or was rated high before I was the county, because I was diabetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I kept asking him because I told the insurance keep telling me, hey, you are not getting the from the pharmacy, you are not getting you metmorphine or I'm sorry for my, but I cannot remember
Metformin. Yeah,
metformin.
metformin. Yeah.
You are not taking the metformin. You're not taking your high blood pressure. You need to go to the doctor. And I keep telling the insurance, I went to the doctor. I don't have any problem. That's not possible. So I asked the doctor to write a letter saying, hey, he's not diabetic anymore. He's off of the blood pressure pills. He is off of the triglyceride pills. And the doctor didn't want it to do it.
Wow.
It took almost 2 years for him to get convinced, and even on the letter, okay, that I don't have it in my hands now, but when he wrote it, he said that my chronic disease diabetes was on remission 2 years after.
Wow.
Yeah,
And a CAC score, it's basically zero. You have no
yeah,
plaque. You
imperceptible,
yeah,
imperceptible.
yeah.
And before that, it was in the, I cannot remember, 323, in between 320 and 340, some in that
Yeah.
number. Actually, the doctor told me at that time that I was a heart attack with legs.
A heart attack with legs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it just I don't know whether to laugh or to be angry when I hear stories like this, right?
I really it's sad
Yeah.
because I took my mom. I reduced her
Yeah.
insulin basically to zero, and the doctor, of course, kept telling her that she needed to eat a little bit of beans, a little bit of rice, and 6 times a day, small meals. And I took my mom and I said, you're gonna eat like you should eat, that is fat. It was a challenge for
Mm-hmm.
her and my dad too. But she basically got almost out of insulin, and the doctor, we went to a visit. My mom and my dad don't speak English, so I take them to the doctor, and they are 94 and 95 years old. So the doctor on the visit said, oh, your blood sugar came down drastically. That means that we will have to cut a little bit of insulin, because if not, you are overshooting some insulin. And I didn't say anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just shut up, and I told my mom and my dad, don't say anything, and they didn't say anything. On the visit, like 6 months after, again, numbers were good shape for them too. Actually, my mom also had triglycerides, and her triglycerides went down. At this point, she's basically taking no insulin, very little, and then she was taking a pill for triglycerides, and I got her off of the pill. So we go to the doctor, and he said, "Oh my God, you are improving. You are really improving." And I made the mistake of opening my mouth, because he said the pills and everything is it's working. Everything that I have prescribed is working. So I got up a little bit, and I said, "Doctor, I'll tell you this. My mom is not basically improving by your pills. That's not possible." I'm like, "No, ma'am. Is She is eating fat. She's eating a little bit of protein, but mainly is fat. And she's eating tallow. She's eating lard. We're cooking everything on lard and butter." And he goes on his hands, "Oh my God, you're going to kill your mom and your dad." And I'm
Wow.
like, "No, that's not the situation. The problem is that I guess that, you need to go ahead and listen for the new things that are going in the medical field." And he said, no, 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 that's not possible. Fat will kill you and all of this. And then I said, sir, I have been, I made open my mouth and I made a mistake also. Is some doctors like Dr. Boss, Dr. Jason Fon, Ken Berry, and they are all over in the internet. You will not believe he got up of his chair, he went to his desk or whatever, and he brought me a piece of paper that he has in a frame that it says, I have a real doctor degree from university. I cannot remember the university, not a Google degree. And
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
sir, you are offending me. What are you trying to tell me? And he told me that you are crazy. You are killing your mom and your dad. And I'm like,
Oh my
okay,
goodness.
they are 90. At that point they were like 93 and 94, because this was no more 92 and 93. And then I said, they have lived a good life. They are enjoying life now better than before, so I don't care what you have to say. He told me that I should not come back to his office.
Wow. I mean,
So
you know,
doctors now, I really, the problem is that in the past, if you didn't want to, you could not get updated as easy. So I understand, doctors
yeah,
of 10, 15 years ago, in which they told them in the medical school that cholesterol was bad, that, diabetes was not curable, all of this stuff. But nowadays, if you don't, I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm a mechanical engineer, you know,
yeah,
and I went ahead and I find this information. I did what I had to do and I got better. How a doctor will just go ahead and do not get and talk to his colleagues, and try to get educated or
yeah.
get better. I really cannot understand it.
And you took your parents were in their 90s. Your mom was on, metformin, and you got her off of it. I mean, how
Yeah,
I don't understand how that could possibly be a bad thing. It makes no sense to me.
because she was eating fat,
Yeah,
and
I know.
fat will kill her.
Wow.
That was his main sin, is that I was killing my mom because I took her out of vegetables and eating, because I fed them almost a stick of butter a day,
Hmm.
almost, for each one. Okay, and then he's like, a stick of butter a day? You are crazy. You're
I can
killing your mom and
imagine.
your dad. My dad lost weight. Okay, he was starting to have problem with his feet, that they were retaining
Hmm.
uh, retaining water,
Edema.
basically,
Yeah.
edema.
Hmm.
And then they were getting, inflamed really. He had a ulcer, so it was really
Hmm.
red in the on his, and he lost all of that.
Wow.
He can walk with no problem. He's 95 and he still helped me on the farm.
It's,
No, excuse me, 94. And now he
wow.
can walk and everything. So how that could be bad? And for
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
doctor not being able to see that and say, hey, just spark a curiosity. Only
Hmm.
spark a curiosity.
Yeah.
Don't say, hey, I will learn from you. No, because I never pretend that. But at least I told him, go ahead and look at, the other thing was fasting. You are not, you are supposed to eat. Okay, your mom is supposed to eat at least 6 times a day. And I'm, no, no, sir. I mean, no animal in the wild eat 6 times a day. They don't go to the supermarket, okay, and get whatever they want. You
No.
see a lion, you see a cat, even a cat, okay, that everybody has a home. They see that they fed them once a day and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Even dogs. My mom friend had a dog that it was diabetic and it was fat. Okay, I told the lady just fed him once and just go ahead and put a bunch of fat. I gave her fat to feed the dog. You will not believe the dog, okay, reduce his weight, okay, and they didn't have to. They don't. He died now, but they don't have to. They didn't have to give the injections and the medicines that they had to give to the doctor. That she was spending a gazillion amount of money every
Yeah,
month
I can imagine.
for the dog.
Wow.
And you know, I told the lady, let the dog be like it used to be in the
Mm-hmm.
wild. Eat
Mm-hmm.
once a day. Don't give all of these cookies and all of this stuff, and give him fat, and
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and get liver, give, and the dog got better.
Yeah,
He died
yeah.
because he was old, but
Sure.
still got better.
I mean, this is just amazing to hear. I mean, I knew about your success, but I didn't know about your mom, and so this is so cool to hear that in their 90s they're up and around feeling good because
Yeah,
they're eating a proper human diet. I mean,
yeah.
that's wonderful. So Leo, how did you get into farming? I mean, you were on all these medications. You were heavier and everything. Were you farming back then, or did that come after?
No, ma'am. I have always been involved in the farming. In
Okay.
Venezuela, my dad used to
Hmm.
have a dairy farm. We used to produce cheese in Venezuela and also a beef operation. And vegetables, we did a lot of cabbage, tomatoes, watermelons, and different stuff. I mean, I'm talking big farms, um, very big farms. On the dairy, we were milking about 700 cows a day and producing a lot of cheese also. And so I always have been involved. Then on 2004, I bought my first piece of land. It was 35 acres, and I was producing hydroponic tomatoes. I was the largest hydroponic tomato farm in the state of Florida, and it was 1.5 acres of under greenhouses. And then out of that operation, I bought my 100 acres. And of course, I always wanted to go ahead and have cows again. So I started my operation and I had a cow calf operation. So I was basically producing calves and selling in the auction. Um, every year we keep 2 or 3 steers and we kill it, a slaughter for the house. Now, I was giving away a lot of meat for my friend to my friends. My friends come and hey, take this
Hmm.
meat and take that. Basically, on COVID, a lot of the friends came. Hey, don't sell any of the cows. Sell it to us. And I didn't want to do that. I kept butchering because for my consumption, I butcher my own animals, hogs and cattle. And I start with the hogs because in Venezuela we really didn't have hogs. I started with the hogs to feed the seconds for the hydroponic tomatoes. The little ones that they didn't go to market because they were not good. I feed it to the hogs. That's how I start my hog operation. And then during COVID again, I was butchering my hogs, I was butchering my cows, and people tell me, sell me, and I was like, I cannot sell it because I can give it to you, but I don't want to go against the law because if I'm not doing it on USDA and I exchange money, I
Mm.
can get in trouble. So, my wife told me at one point, "Hey, let's just go ahead and find a USDA. Let's just go ahead and start processing our own cows. And that's how I did it. It was basically on 21, we started, you know, killing a little bit of animals and selling a little bit on the farmers market and to friends. And then basically on 22, it came the idea. Um, and if you go to my webpage and you go to our story, my webpage is dedicated to my grandmother, my father mother, because she was 98 and she was still riding a bicycle to church basically every Sunday. And I, always remember her words. That is like she had, of course, it was in Italy, in the northern Italy, and they had hogs, they have cows, they have trees, they have grapes to do
Mm-hmm.
wine, and they
Mm-hmm.
have they do all kind of vegetables and everything. But my grandmother, every day in the morning, she would go to the chicken coop, get an
Yep.
egg, poke a hole, and drink it.
Wow.
Just go ahead and suck it out of the shell. And she was amazing. And she always told me, okay, when I was there, because I lived in Italy when I was a kid, you need to eat from the tree. You need to eat from what nature is bringing you. And when I started doing or thinking, what would be the name that we need to do? And it came to me saying, I need to just go ahead and call it Eat Like My Grandmother. But of course, and then
Mm-hmm.
we started kicking around names and stuff like that. And ancestor. So our ancestors' foods. That's how the name came.
Yeah.
And then after the name came, I wanted to find how we were going to do the logo. So we went ahead, and I always have been on the Asian stuff, and we went and we find the symbol, the like the heart symbol, that's called Sankofa, and it's an African symbol that it means basically do not be afraid to go back and take control. And that was perfect. So that's how the symbol come. And then the cows and the leaf for nature, and we register our slogan that it's food as nature intends,
Right.
not
Right.
intended, because intended is registered by somebody else. So, and
Oh,
that's,
okay.
yeah, so it's food as nature intends. And
Okay.
and then of course, because the name came out of my grandmother, and I remember, that's why
Yeah.
it's the web page, it says that it's dedicated to my grandmother.
Oh, that is so sweet. My goodness. So I mean, you basically have a farm where the animals they eat from the pasture. They're grass fed. Can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy on that?
Yes. Before, when I was a cow calf operation,
Mm-hmm.
we were doing vaccines, and we were doing all the stuff to, implants to go ahead and get the animals to grow fast. And because that's what the slaughterhouses want, or
Yep.
the feeding lots want, and of course I needed to basically do. But the steers that we were going to use for the house, I didn't implant, we didn't vaccinate. And I'm talking this 10, 12 years ago. On my farm, we went ahead and did a rotational. So we have lots, basically 5-acre plots, in which we grow the grass and we rotate the cows. And so when all of this came, and I learned a little bit more about, I said, this is perfect. I'm gonna just go ahead and take all the vaccines for all the animals. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna implant anymore. I'm not gonna do grain, and that will be better, because what we're gonna do is save on the feed. Of course, at that point, I said yes, we're gonna save, but when you feed grain, you're gonna get an animal twice as fast fat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I started doing this 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I realized, hey, what I was charging to my friends when I was selling, or my neighbors, I couldn't make it because a calf, it was taking 24, 25, 28 months in order to grow on grass. But at
Right.
that point, I already had committed that I was not going to vaccinate, that I was not going to implant or put hormones in the animal to get fatted. And that's what we decided to stick with. We do
Mm-hmm.
rotational. We do hermathria. It's our grass that we grow with legumes like achonomini,
Mm-hmm.
and so we rotate, and we don't do any grain, any vaccination, any hormones. And I decided that if a calf is going to die because he gets sick or anything, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to die. So we don't put any antibiotic. We don't do any medicines or anything. My vet
Wow.
got upset with me because, of course, I'm not buying
Yeah.
anything from him
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
than all the stuff that we need to set up our cows when we do artificial insemination. That, of course, we have a set of cows that we go ahead and inseminate it with bulls that are really expensive, and I will never be able to afford to have it and to feed it. And so we buy the semen and we do artificial insemination. And our breed is red Brahma on the bottom. So my females are registered red Brahmas, and my males or my bulls are black Charolais. And
I
that's
have a
how we,
picture of your cows here. I'm just
yeah,
gonna bring that up.
yeah. That
There.
one over
There.
there is a black Charolais, a pure black Charolais.
Okay.
In the back, you can see the Brahma, the white Brahma, and the red Brahma, the little calf. And now, basically, I still have some grays Brahma, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing everything to red Brahmas and black Charolais.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool. So now you are selling your meat. People can buy it online, right? Like they can order
yes,
it from you.
yeah,
I'll just want to bring this up. So it comes frozen, I guess
yes,
vacuum sealed, frozen.
yes, yes.
Um,
And and I would like to bring this up. We sell in 10 pound, 20 and 40 pounds boxes,
okay.
and we do not do a la carte cuts because a cow or steer, it will have only so many ribeyes. And then if I allow everybody to just go ahead and choose what they want to order, then I will run out of ribeyes immediately. And then New York strip, it will be the second one. And then we're going to end up with only roast. So I saw what everybody else, that it's a small farm like we are 60 mamas, basically, farm. What all of the others do is they do these boxes, and they do in the same percentage of what we harvest the cuts from the steer.
Okay.
And that's how our boxes are: 25% approximately of steaks, 35% of roast, and about 40% between ground beef and stew meat.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
how our boxes. You can buy a box only of ground beef, 10, 20, or 40 pounds. And then on the hog, we do about the same thing. And we do sausages. That our
Okay.
sausages, because of the USDA, they have some spices. But because USDA wants the my processor, because I don't process my own product, they have their label. And to get one label approved by USDA, it takes so long. And my processor doesn't want to just go ahead and play ball with that. So what
Mm-hmm.
we do is he go ahead and do the same spices or natural spices, but they are still spices.
Right.
We do also ground pork. And so
Yes.
people that do not want to just go ahead and get the sausages,
Mm-hmm.
then they go ahead and they get the ground pork.
I brought a
What you
picture of your pigs
yes, what
here.
yeah, what you see over there are all my females. They are Berkshires, and in the back you see a red one. That's it's one of my boars, and they are Duroc. All my boars are
Okay.
Duroc, and the females are Berkshire, and that's how we produce our pork meat. We do that
Okay.
because Berkshire is one of the only porks, and I'm not saying the only one, but one of the only ones that they actually marble, and they have a really good fat content. Not all the fat is on the outside; it's also in the muscle. And Duroc, because they are really really good taste, sweet meat, and because we don't want the other white meat like it's
Mm-hmm.
called in the supermarket. We want it red, so you will get that our pork is not white, it's not pale red, it's really a good color. As you
Yeah.
can see also when you saw the picture before of the meat, our meat or our beef is cherry red.
Yes. It's a beautiful color.
Yeah, totally different of what you find on the
Yeah.
supermarket.
Yes. So where do you ship? Let's talk about that for a moment. I
Nationwide.
nationwide. Does that
Yes.
include like say Alaska and Hawaii, or is it
No,
the?
no, it's
Okay.
only on I'm sorry, when I say nationwide, I forget about, yeah, but it's on the
Okay. I
states
just
that
want
they are.
people to
Yeah.
know because there are people here that are from Alaska and those areas. Okay, so it's in the continental US then.
Yes, I have never
Yep.
been asked about, Alaska. Um, Now you put a worm in my head, so I will ask Danica, that is the lady that helped me out, because everything that we ship is through PeriShip, that it's a third party with FedEx, and if they get there, and because we ship everything with dry ice, we do not ship with gel. Everything
Okay.
is frozen, and we ship with dry ice. So if Alaska and Hawaii, they are in the 5 day shipping zone. Uh, we could. Now, at this point, I would say no because I have never sent to either one of the two. But
Okay.
if FedEx get there and it's in the five, because our dry ice, it lasted, and we can guarantee 5 days to get frozen. So we send all the way to California, and we have never had a problem yet.
Okay, so I'm just going to pop this on the screen. We have somebody begging, Melissa, please, I will buy it if you will ship it to Alaska. So he's going to look into it to see if he can, if it can be done within the 5 day window of time that they have. So
Yes. If
there's
she can
hope,
send me, if
maybe.
she can send me an email just to, because my lady that does my webpage, because as you can figure out, Anita and all the audience, I'm really too young for computers, and I'm not really savvy when it comes to computers. So I have Danica, that is the lady that helped me out with computers. She will get the email. She will find out, and then we will be able to answer back to the lady that
Okay.
could ship to Alaska.
Okay. All right. Well, that is awesome. I noticed that Scott is in the house. I just want to pop up something here. He says He's been to Leo's farm. Him and his wife had me over for dinner. Beautiful farm and family. Please place an order and support his farm. That's really awesome that you're here tonight. Wired for Healing, they are the company that organized the Tennessee retreat, which I went to, and that's how I met Leo. And so this is, thank you for coming and supporting this live stream tonight. So that's wonderful. And so we will have all of Leo's contact information. We have his website below. We have, I'm hoping we have your email. I guess I'll have to get that from you.
That's info@ourancestorfood.com.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I would like to say thank you
yeah.
to Scott. And Scott can share a couple pictures of when him and Jennifer went there and the grass in the middle of the winter, how tall it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's get to some questions. So let me see here. Well, we have comments and questions in here. Kathy Hirsch, great story, Leo. You took a risk and kicked diabetes out. Yes, that is amazing.
And
Martha,
anybody can do it too.
Yes,
anybody can do it.
And it's never too late. He did it with his parents in their 90s. So it's never too late. Martha would like to know, can we tour your farm? She's in Florida, by the way.
Yes, if she subscribed to our newsletter, 4 times a year, we do what Danica came out with the name of Meet, Greet, and Grace. And what we do is that day, we are not open the farm to the public because as I said before, I hold a full-time job. And then when I come back to after work, we fulfill orders and get ready to ship the orders. And then at the beginning, it was okay because when I get somebody, I really want to talk and get full attention. But then it got to be in the middle that it was tearing me apart because I wanted to be talking to the people. But, so Danica came out and say, hey, let's just go ahead and do 3 or 4 times a year in which we get a day. And that day we start about 10 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes I have left at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, that my last guest. And what we do is we cook a little bit of pork and a little bit of beef and let people try our products. That's why it's called, Meet, Greet, and Grace.
Okay. And so then they can, you do this right at your farm though, right? Like,
yes.
So people can see what's,
we tour the farm. And as I said, it's announced, the dates are announced on the newsletter.
Okay. So on Leo's website, there is a place to sign up for his newsletter. So that would be great if people did that. Thanks, Martha. That's a great question. Lynn, 82 years old, carnivore for 7 years, fractured her femoral stem, told to eat high protein, 30 grams each 3 meals. Your opinion is eat once 90 grams? I don't think that's my opinion. I don't know about Leo. I would say eat as much protein and fat as you can for healing if you've got something like that. What do you think, Leo?
I will not give an opinion on protein. The only thing that I can tell you is eat about between 75% and 80% fat. Okay. Protein, do not eat. I don't go by the grams or any of that.
Yeah.
I basically eat until I'm full, and I make sure that my food is about 75 to 80% fat. And when I have something like chicken or even steak, sometimes that doesn't have that much fat, I just go ahead and add a bunch of butter.
Yeah,
that's my suggestion. Talking about grams of protein,
there's so
Um,
many, yeah.
yes.
There's so many opinions. We're
Yeah.
not doctors,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely if you're healing, just do.
Yeah.
I would definitely eat lots of protein, lots of fat.
Yeah.
So let me just get to the next question. Kathy, this wonderful man's stubborn courage and common sense is inspiring. Thank you for letting him tell his story. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm really glad that you were able to come here today and tell everybody about you. So how can people support you and other small farmers out there? What are the things we can do?
One thing that, and Scott can vouch for this, when they went ahead and they told me about the retreat, he told me, "Hey, Leo, we can buy the beef from you, but we have another farm that it's in Tennessee that can sell us the pork and can sell us some beef too." And I'm
Yeah.
like, Scott, oh, he said, "I hope that you don't get offended if we don't buy everything from you." And I'm like, Scott, the only thing that I want is that you feed the people the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the small farms as competitors. I see them as allies. And if they do it in the right way, meaning that they are not just go ahead and do a bunch of grain and vaccines and all of this,
Mm-hmm.
then even better. And I personally support them. If it's somebody that call me and I know a farm that is, pretty close, I'll tell the
Mm-hmm.
people, hey, just go ahead and go to that farm. These people will treat you as good or even better than me. So I don't have a problem with local farms, even, in other places. I support the farms, small farms, and I think if we want to live a healthy life, what we need to do is buy our products, especially for me, is beef and pork and
Mm-hmm.
chicken, okay, from a local or a farm that is producing a good product.
Yeah.
Clean meat is what
Mm-hmm.
is important.
Yeah.
So supporting any of the farms, the best way is just go ahead and make sure that you buy their products, because a lot of people think that, oh, they're making tons of money. No, it's not that
Mm.
way. It's some the as I said before, in order for me to keep the farm, I need to hold a day job. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that we become
Yeah, you're
millionaires
not
just
exactly rolling in money there. Otherwise, you'd have quit your job by now.
Yes, yes. So the support is just make sure that you buy their product, and if
Yeah.
you like the product, just go ahead and tell the farmer, "Hey, I like your product," because a lot of us, especially me, we are really proud of what we do, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that some people are appreciating what we do is very important for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And to tell your friends too, if you know somebody who is trying to eat cleaner, they're trying to. I mean, they don't have to be carnivores. Maybe they're just people who are trying to eat the healthiest organic food that they can find. Tell them to buy from their local farmer. Tell them about Leo. They ship all over the U.S. and so there's we'll have those links below for you to check it out.
Yeah, and
So,
Anita, another thing that I do,
mm-hmm.
not all farmers do, is I help. I said before, I'm not a doctor. I'm a mechanical engineer, but I help a lot of people if they need any coaching or any help on how to start keto or carnivore. I can help, and it's completely free. My
Okay.
mission in life became to help uh, people to get healthy, because we have enough in the TV, on the radio, on YouTube, anywhere, enough
Yes.
people trying to get people unhealthy. We need
Mm-hmm.
is more people to help people get healthy. And the
Yeah.
only way that we're going to do that is the people that can help, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And, as I said, I don't charge for anything. Anybody can call me and I will dedicate time. It might be that it's not at that minute, exactly in that minute. If they leave me a message, I will call, or we will find a time in order to just go ahead and help. Because again, my mission now, God put me in the road, Dr. Jason Fung, and my way to pay back to God is to help people get healthy.
Oh, that's amazing, Leo. I mean, and that's so generous for you to offer your time like that too. So, yeah, check out their website, and the contact information is there to get a hold of him. And order the meat if you're able to order a box of meat, and this will help a small farmer in the U.S. there. I'm just looking to see if I missed any questions here. I'm going to go over to the live chat. So yeah, we have put your Instagram account there, and we have put your website. Everything is there. You know, oh, and the town that you're in is called what again? Because I think
Coco?
people might consider coming to your one of your open houses that you have.
Yeah, it's Coco. And we are just,
Coco.
we are on the East Coast. We are south of the Cape Canaveral, and we are
Okay.
about 45 minutes east of Orlando.
Okay. Okay. So Coco. Jazzy Mama would like to know if you have oxtails.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Now that would probably be part of a box though, right? Like it would be.
Yes, it's part of a box, but
Yep.
also for we sell a box of bones, and when somebody is looking for oxtail, they buy a box of bones, and if they let me
Okay.
know, we just go ahead and add oxtail. She
Okay.
probably from the islands because that's where oxtail is very famous.
Right, right. Yes. So Scott, wired for healing. Leo treats his animals like he does his family. His farm is so beautiful. Oh, that's
he,
very
he can
cool.
tell you that my cows are so aggressive that they came and almost licked his life away.
Cookie wants to know. Cookie is from Barbados. Nice to be on your live. Where is Lee? Okay, so yeah, he just said Cocoa, Florida is where he's located. So thank you very much for your question. Let me see what else we have over here. Let's see. So important to support our small regenerative farmers. Yes, yes, it is. Definitely. Thank you for that. So we have, so Martha has subscribed to your website, and Bonnie says she is also subscribing. It looks like people are going to be subscribing. So hopefully you'll get some new subscriptions tonight. And I think I agree with this statement, Melissa. I think that a lot of people here are very happy that you came on to talk about your farm and to talk about your journey and your mom and dad. Like thank you so much for sharing your life with us. And we only have a couple minutes left. What would you like to say to people as we're winding up here? To encourage them or about anything about you or your farm. I'm giving you some closing thoughts here.
I will not talk about the farm. I will say, please do not let big pharma and the
Mm,
food industry get you sick.
yeah.
It's in your power. It's in you can do it. You do not need to live a life sick, taking a bunch of pharmaceuticals. You can enjoy life. Um, I don't know if you can guess my age, but I'm
I would
almost
love to know, but
60.
I was way too polite to ask.
You can ask. That's not a problem. I'm
How old are you?
almost one year short to be 60.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay. And you're,
and uh, Scott can tell you. I mean, I move and I go and I carry boxes, I carry everything, and again, I couldn't do this the way that I'm doing now 5 years ago.
yeah.
So you
I
don't need to get sick,
yeah, you
please,
don't. I
please.
100%. If your doctor is telling you that everything that is wrong with you is a normal part of aging, don't believe it. Just don't
Yes.
believe it.
No, don't believe it, and just go ahead and eat healthy. And when I
Yes.
say healthy, I would like to invite anybody to just go in the keto side, and then
Hmm.
just go ahead and when you are ready to graduate, then go on the carnivore.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Leo, so much. I have really enjoyed our conversation tonight. I am so grateful that you came here to talk about all this. And I think you've motivated some people here tonight. I certainly enjoyed your story very much. But it's time to say goodnight to everybody. And, maybe in a few months or next year, we'll do some kind of an update. I would love to hear back from you. We can do this again, if you're willing. And but for now, good night, everybody. Thank you so much for
Good night.
joining. Look for Leo's contact information in the show notes below and sign up for his newsletter, please. So, good night,
Thank
everybody.
you. Good night.